விளையாட்டில் மனித உற்சாகத்தையும் ஆர்வத்தையும் செயற்கை நுண்ணறிவு ஒருபோதும் மாற்ற முடியாது. பிரபல முன்னாள் பேட்மிண்டன் சாம்பியன் பிரகாஷ் படுகோன் கோவையில் தகவல். கோவை சிங்காநல்லூர் பகுதியில் உள்ள SSVM நிறுவனங்கள் சார்பாக டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மிங் இந்தியா கான்க்ளேவ் எனும் கருத்தரங்கம் 3 நாட்களாக நடைபெற்றது. செயற்கை நுண்ணறிவு குறித்து பல்வேறு துறைசார் வல்லுநர்கள் அமர்வு நடைபெற்ற நிலையில் 3வது நாளாக செயற்கை நுண்ணறிவு மற்றும் மனிதம் நம் உலகை இணைந்து உருவாக்குவோம் எனும் தலைப்பில் கருத்தரங்கம் நடைபெற்றது. இதில் பிரபல முன்னாள் பேட்மிண்டன் சாம்பியன் பிரகாஷ் படுகோன் கலந்து கொண்டு மாணவர்களிடையே பேசினார். அப்போது பேசிய அவர், செயற்கை நுண்ணறிவு தொழில்நுட்பத்தால் விளையாட்டில் மனித உற்சாகத்தையும் ஆர்வத்தையும் ஒருபோதும் மாற்ற முடியாது என்றார். அதே சமயம் பயிற்சி, செயல்திறன், பகுப்பாய்வு, ஊட்டச்சத்து போன்ற துறைகளில் செயற்கை நுண்ணறிவு முக்கிய பங்காற்றும் என்றும் கூறினார். தொடர்ந்து நடைபெற்ற நிகழ்ச்சியில் தலைசிறந்த மாணவர்களை உருவாக்கும் ஆசிரியர்களை கௌரவிக்கும் விதமாக இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன்ஸ் குரு அவார்ட்ஸ் விருது ஆசிரியர்களுக்கு வழங்கப்பட்டது.
Such a warm way inviting us, telling us next week we should go to Mumbai. That's what he's saying. Very nice. Sir, you of course the family is something we can speak about, but before we get into your sporting mode, life as a grandfather. Now we know the sportsman, we know the father, the supportive father you are. Life as a grandfather, has that changed you? Has that given you like a fresh zest of energy? How has it been?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't expect, because it's the first time to become a grandfather. So, we've only heard about other grandparents talking about their grandkids, but I never expected that, when you actually have a grandchild, the kind of feeling, I think that cannot be explained. It has to be felt. It's a great feeling. All the time, keep talking about her. Unfortunately, we are not in the same city, so we're not able to visit her on a daily basis. But we do talk to her on the phone and speak to her off and on. But it's a great feeling. I'm sure there are a lot of grandparents here, so it is really nice. And so like I mentioned, I think a feeling which you have to experience and cannot be explained.
So seeing your grandchild, is the future of badminton secure or is the future of Bollywood secure? Where do you see?
that depends on the child. We're not going to force. Depends on what she would be interested. I think that's what we've learned, right from my childhood. When my father allowed me to pursue badminton at a time when there was no money, it was not a popular sport, but he saw the passion for badminton in me, and allowed me to pursue at a time when we didn't know what the future was. Even internationally there was no money, but I was so passionate about this sport that he let me continue the sport. This was way back, I think before most of you were born, in the 70s. When without knowing what the future would be, but I was so passionate that he said you continue playing badminton, but we'll not be able to help you. You have to find your own way. So I'm extremely grateful to him for having allowed me to pursue badminton at a time when. So my advice to the parents who are here. If your children are passionate about something, please give them an opportunity to pursue their passion, even if it's non-conventional fields. But there is a difference between liking something, loving something, and being passionate about something. Being passionate, you can see them. They'll be willing to spend any amount of time. 12 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours a day. So if you see that kind of passion in your children, please let them experience that. There's no guarantee that you will succeed, but what it does is you are giving them an opportunity to try, and and they will also have no regrets later in life. If they've never tried, then there'll always be that doubt, that if I had, if my parents had allowed me to pursue. Just imagine if my father had, because I could have easily got into the best engineering or medical college on sports quota in those days, but he said, it's up to you if you want to, go into academics or you want to pursue badminton. So So I pursued badminton and see what it doesn't mean that.
See what India got from this man next to me. There. Not just what you got, but what we got as a country.
I'm not saying that everybody will succeed, but I think there will be two things. One is the child will have the satisfaction of having tried, and if they don't succeed, they will find something else. They are smart enough nowadays. They have a lot of options. So maybe it will be delayed by a year or two, and then you as parents, will have the satisfaction of having given them an opportunity to try.
Absolutely, sir.
So that is one of the life lessons which I've learned. So we applied the same thing to our daughter. When they grew up, Deepika and Anisha both, I never forced them to play badminton because from my experience, I knew that always you have to see what the child wants to do, not what the parents, like or parent want to do. So we allowed them. I told both my daughters, in case you choose to play badminton on your own, I'm there to support you, I'm there to help you, I'm there to guide you. But if you are passionate about something else, please go ahead and do it. But I will not be able to, or we will not be able to help you. You have to find your own way. And that's what they did. Initially, Deepika did play badminton until she was about 14 or 15. But sport was her second love. First love was always modeling and films and movies. So, at a very young age, she moved to Bombay. She's come up on her own. We were there to only morally support her, entirely her own effort. And similarly, our second daughter, Anisha, was very passionate. She played multiple sports and finally decided to take up golf. She played golf professionally and represented India and played golf. So I think it will be the same with our granddaughter as well. I'm sure Deepika, having known from experience, or Ranveer as parents, they will not force their daughter Dua to take up anything which they want. It will be entirely up to the child. If she chooses to play badminton, maybe I'll be there. If she chooses to go into movies, then they are there.
So for modeling also you can be there, sir. You are looking extremely fit and you haven't aged one bit. I see in front of me obviously a man who's achieved so much, but sir, in your eyes, when you talk about your family, when you talk about moments, there's a twinkle in your eyes, which really means that you're a really, really great achiever. You've achieved so much in life, you have so much of happiness. I think that's the first mark of success in life, sir. Let's flash back. The young man on the court. Prakash, what made him the icon? What made him stand out, not just in the country, but in the world? You chose, I want to pursue this. I've got a passion for this. But passion alone is not enough. Then comes in performance. Then comes in perseverance. And then somewhere down the line is success. What made you stand out?
Well, I think in any field, one thing is to have goals, short-term goals, long-term goals. But more importantly, how you go about achieving those goals. A lot of the people, just dream, just have goals. I want to become like this, I want to become a doctor or a musician or a dancer or a cricket player or a sports person or a scientist. But, I think a lot depends on, how much hard work, you have to put in. There has to be dedication, discipline, determination, lot of patience. I think these are all common things, to achieve international success, in any field, not in sports. So basically, this has been my, journey. Maybe I was, very disciplined. I was very patient. Trying to learn from my mistakes because I grew up at a time when there were hardly any facility. We are talking of 60s when I started playing badminton at the age of 7, when there were no facilities at all. I used to play in a marriage hall. But one or two things which really which has really helped me not only just during my career but even otherwise One was, we never complained about lack of facilities. We were very happy with what we had. Like I said, we were playing in a marriage hall, which was booked for 6 months in a year for marriages. And we could play only the remaining 6 months, but that too not at a stretch. But we never complained. We were happy with what we had, and rest of the time we did something else. The second thing was, there were not too many options. The only option was either you play for those 6 months or you don't play. There was no third option available. Go somewhere else, go study, or go to some other club, or go to some other academy. Those options were not there. So in a way, I'm happy that we came up at a time when there were not too many options. So not just for myself, all the youngsters during my time. I think that has taught us a lot of good things. The value of time, value of money, value of so many things. So even now, if given a chance, I would still like to be born with all those challenges and not be provided everything on a platter. Of course, I'm not complaining, but I think the present generation should be happy. I think you need to combine, whatever you have at the moment, but not be entirely dependent only on others. Be more proactive. Try to take decisions on your own. Try to, whether in school or in any sport, or don't do just what is given to you. Try to be more proactive. Try to, question yourself. Try to add something more. So that way you will grow faster, as a person, as a student, compared to somebody else who only does what is asked of them. So I think that is what I did. I didn't have a coach, I didn't have any facilities, but just the perseverance, just the challenge to see how much I can push myself, and the passion. Passion was always there, like you said. Without passion, I don't think I would have continued. But to put that passion into practice, I think required a lot of sacrifices, a lot of hardships, a lot of difficulties, challenges. But you have to be patient. You have to learn from every setback. So that's what I did, and never actually worried about the future. Didn't have focus more on things which were in my control. The third part was, one was not to complain. The second was to focus on things which are in your control. So focus more on those. There are a lot of factors which are not in your hands. So there is no point thinking about things which are not in your hands. So every time there was a setback, there was a difficulty, I would ask myself, is this something in my hand? If the answer was no, just forget about it. Even though it was very unjust, just focus on things, like things which are in your hands. Like every time I went on the court or to the gym, I would give my 100% and be happy. Nothing more you can do. The idea should be to reach your full potential. Everybody cannot become an Olympic champion. Everybody cannot become a number one in the world. But the idea should be to reach your full potential, whatever that potential is. How can you do that in any field? By giving 100% in everything you do, whether it's in class, whether it is in, give your 100%, don't hold back anything, and leave the rest to God. He's there. And if you do that in everything, every single day, it's not easy, easier said than done. But if you do that, I don't think you can do anything more than that. So that way, I think at least you will reach your potential. And at the end of the day,